Okay. Let's see. Hello. I'm supposed to be live now, hopefully. So the idea is that today I'm going to show how to create a liquid toggle switch. And to do that, I'm going to start with the basic, that is an input of type checkbox. Okay, so with that, I'm going to get a checkbox here. And just for the demo, I'm going to put the body, I'm going to put display grid, place item center, and margin 0, height 100. So with this, what I'm going to do is just I'm going to put the element at the center so it's more visible. And now I'm going to create the switch. I'm going to collapse that, and I don't need JavaScript for this. So for the checkbox, right now it's a checkbox. I can check and uncheck, and that's it. A switch is a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is that first I'm going to give it a role of switch. So if assistive technologies get to my component, they're going to know that it's a switch, a toggle switch, and not a checkbox. And finally, we're going to add a class. Let's call it liquid. So now the first thing that we're going to do is liquid. We're going to say appearance none. With this, it's going to stop looking like a checkbox, and that's what we want to create the switch. So we're going to add a width of, let's say, 20 EM and an aspect ratio of 2:1. This means that for every 2 units of width, there's going to be 1 unit of height. Let's put a background of 222 that is dark but not red. Sorry, but not black. That may be too large, so let's put a 10 there. Let's see how it works. Better. So now I want to put some borders. So I'm going to say border radius, and I'm going to put the same value as the width, so 10 EM. That does it. So with this, we have the base of the toggle switch. What we're going to do is that we're going to use a pseudo element like before to put it right there. So let's do one thing, position relative here. And I'm going to say, I'm going to use CSS nesting. So I'm going to say the before content, because if we don't put a content, then it's not visible. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to do width 100%, height 100%, position absolute, and background red, so I can see it for a second. Yes, it's right there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a circle. I'm going to put a circle here. So I'm going to do that with a radial gradient. And it's going to be radial gradient. It's going to be a circle at probably around here. It's going to be 25% horizontal and 50% vertical. And it's going to be white at 20% and transparent from then on. And that looks kind of okay. But you can see already the first problem. I'm clicking and nothing is happening. So what I want to do is when the checkbox is checked, I'm going to do something funny. I'm going to say the before. I'm going to transform it and rotate it 180 degrees. So I'm going to flip it like that. So now when I check, it goes from one side to the other. And with this, we already have a functional toggle switch. We need to take into account one thing. We're using a checkbox as a base, and checkboxes have 3 states. They have checked and indeterminate. But toggle switches only have 2 states, on and off. So we're linking the on with the checked and the off with the unchecked. But the checkbox still has the indeterminate state that the toggle switch doesn't have. So it is important that we do not set it. We can only set it through JavaScript. So let's not set it because if we do, we're going to have accessibility problems because we are not going to know, or the browser and the assistive technologies are not going to know how to present or how to uh, announce the toggle switch. Okay, so we have already this, but this doesn't look really liquid, right? So let's do one thing, and this is a design I saw online. This may be too big actually. Let's put 15 here. Yeah, that may be a little bit better. So what we're going to do is that we're going to animate it, and to animate it, we're going to put a transition of the transform, and let's say we're going to do it in 5 seconds, 0.6 seconds. So you see now it's moving, still not liquid, still not really animated, not too fun, but it's working. And this already does something, which is nice. So I'm copying the design, or I'm basing my component or design I found on Dribble. So I'm going to link that in the comments in a little bit when the video is published. So what we do is that we're going to flip the whole thing. So we're going to do a transform here of rotate 180 degrees. And here we're going to do the same thing, transition, same. So you see, we're flipping the whole thing. And now we have another problem, and it's that if you notice, the check mark is always on the same side all the time. So that's because we are rotating 180 at the same time. So what we want to do is we want to counteract those 180 and do another 180. So instead of that, we're going to do minus 360. And with that, we have already a cool effect for the toggle switch, a cool animation, but it's not really liquid. As you can see, if we make it, let's put here something time, and we're going to make it super slow. And we're going to apply the same time here and the same time here. So you see, it's not really liquid, it's just a circle moving around. So what we want to do is, this is a trick that I learned from Anna Tudor and Temania Fib. So what we do is that we say, we're going to tell here, we're going to add a filter that is a blur, let's say of 1 EM, and then a contrast, a high contrast. And with that, oh, it looks blurry, and that's because it's trying to merge, to blur with transparent. So we are going to use a box shadow, a small box shadow of white. Ooh, that's maybe too much. Okay, that's a little bit better. So now you see, now it still looks like our toggle switch, but when we click here, look how it's merging and coming back in, and it looks more like a liquid. It looks more like a gooey thing. That's the liquid effect that we were looking for. It doesn't fully disappear, the circle. That's something that we could do if we make it wider, let's say 3.2. In that case, no, 3.2, no, sorry, 3.1. In that case, we may want to make this smaller too. And now you see, it's an interesting effect. We can make it shorter, but I like the 2.1 here. And let's make it 15. I like the 15 here. 15 maybe to be 12. 12 looks nice. Yes. So just like that, we're going to make it a little bit faster, 0.75 seconds. Okay, cool. So this is the liquid toggle switch, but there's still some things that need to be fixed. So what are the things that need to be fixed? And we're going to go back to here, and we're going to do another thing that we're going to do. It's we're going to set a background, and let's say D55. Let's say. So you see, we have a problem. This is white. It shouldn't be white. So what we can do is we can use a blend mode, like a mix blend mode here, and we're going to say darken, because we're using white. Any other color is going to be darker than us. So if we use darken, it's going to blend perfectly with the background, and look. And it's not like it's just red, it's blending with the background. So for example, if we change the background color, let's put here the body has a liquid that is checked. Let's change the background to 3B8. I don't know what transition background. Let's see if that works. So yeah, you see, so it changes with the background. I think this is a really nice effect, and that's our toggle with an animation. But there's still more because there's some issues still with this. And first of all, is what happens if the person doesn't like animations. That happens, you know, it's quite possible. There's people that for accessibility or for any reason they disable animations, and this toggle is kind of annoying in that case. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, if the user prefers reduce motion, then our liquid element and the before, we're going to say transition none. And with that, what we're going to do is that you see right now it's animated. But if I come here to the system preferences in Mac and I go to the accessibility ones and display, I'm going to show you, I can click on reduce motion. And now when I come here and I click, it changes without the animation. So that way, now if I put back again the setting, if I say, oh, I want to have motion, I come here and I have the motion back. So depending on what we're doing, you know, on the user settings, they're going to get something or the other. Another important thing to take into account is printing. Right now I'm using backgrounds to display if it's on the right or the left. That is a problem because backgrounds are not printed. So if we want our toggle switch to be printed, we lost it. What we can say is media print. So when it's a printing style, what we can say is, hey, the liquid element, the appearance has to be a checkbox. And we're going to remove the transform just in case. Actually, let's undo all. So we say all unset. And with this, we unset all the options that we set up. Now, also, we need to say the before content, no, just to be on the safe side. And with this, when we print, instead of displaying it like this, what it's going to do is just display a regular checkbox. Another option that we could do is, for example, maybe forcing the backgrounds, but that may not be a nice option, to be honest, because then, for example, we would be printing this green thing that we may not want to. So what we're going to do is just saying print, turn it into a checkbox. And with this, we're basically done. This is how you can create a simple liquid toggle switch using HTML and CSS. Thank you for watching. Bye.